again, for those of you that have just joined in, my name is Maureen Smith. I will be your presenter today for our last Purple and Green session. So welcome. Our Purple and Green session today is on some last minute tips and tricks to make sure that you're able to start the semester off right and make sure that you are able to get everything that you need to do completed before classes start next Tuesday. If you have any questions throughout the time, feel free to shoot them out in the chat. I'll make sure that we have some time towards the end in order to answer some of those verbally, and especially for latecomers as they come in. A couple of things as we get started. Here we go. I know a lot of you were muted as you came into this meeting. Please just make sure to keep your microphones muted as we move through the presentation, just so that we're not competing with audio. If you would go to the chat feature though right now and go ahead and get signed in. If you put your name and maybe the program that you're interested in that chat feature, I'll make sure that I get you checked in for the event so that we have you marked as attending. And then maybe we'll get you some swag when we're hopefully on campus and able to get some of that to you. If you have any questions, like I just mentioned, feel free to send them out in the chat. I am more than happy to answer any of them later on in the presentation. Andy, our Director of Admissions, is in the chat as well to answer any as they come in. So again, just make sure that you're signed in for the event and that you keep all of your microphones muted throughout the entire presentation, just so that we're not competing with that audio. Again, for those of you that just joined in, my name is Maureen Smith. I'm the External Engagement Coordinator at Mercy College of Health Sciences. In the chat, monitoring some of those questions that you have is Andy Gress. He is our Director of Admissions. And like I said, he'll be answering those questions as they come up during the presentation, as well as providing some helpful links for you to access those resources that I'm about to go over in our presentation, and some helpful contact information as well. A couple of housekeeping things. For those of you that have not been aware, we are working remotely. So this is not my usual backdrop or method of giving you information. But all of our campus staff and faculty are continuing to work remotely during the pandemic. We are still very, very accessible. If you look up here at your screen, you can see this link right here, this mchs.edu/help. Has all of our contact information, so you can request a video chat, you can request a phone call from some of our professional staff, and we'll get in touch with you to answer any questions that you might have. Our summer semester that starts next week will be online, so the entirety of the summer semester will be conducted online for your safety and for the public health of everyone involved. So a couple of things that I'm going to touch on today will kind of be specific towards online learning, as well as a few different options that you might have as we get closer to the start of the term. As we progress through the semester and you are into your classes and everything like that, make sure to check our website for any updates on the COVID-19 situation. If we are able to get back onto campus at any point or host events or anything like that for you, this will be the first place that it's posted. So it's a great place to stay informed and know what's going on with our campus and events and everything like that. Another great place to look is on our social media. So make sure that you subscribe to our Facebook, our Twitter. That way you can stay in the loop with all of our new updates. We don't like to bombard our students with tons and tons of updates and emails, because we know, especially now that we are online, it is a lot of information that is being thrown at you via email. So we usually post updates to keep you informed every couple of weeks or so. So make sure that you're checking those channels pretty frequently. So in order to get started next week for classes, one of the most important things that you can do is to make sure that you have access to all of your student accounts. This is super, super important, especially now as we are all online for the summer semester. A couple of things to maybe download before classes start next Tuesday is our student account apps. We have downloading instructions available on our website if you're not sure where to go. But these are, and I've touched on this a few times in our previous presentations, but these are the main student accounts that you'll need access to and that you want to make sure that you have access to before next Tuesday. So D2L, which a lot of you I know have already accessed, it's what we use to present our orientation material. It is also the home to a lot of your course information. So now that you're registered for classes, you might be seeing some of the course documents, some updates, some campus deadlines and things like that that you need to pay attention to on your D2L. So that's kind of your student hub for information. The app for that is Brightspace Pulse. And you can download that in any app store so that you can have that on your phone. Your My Mercy account is going to be specific to your business side of being a student. So your bill, your financial aid information, your schedule, your grades, and everything like that are going to be on your Mercy or on your My Mercy account. That is your Ellucian Go app that you can download. Especially now that you are getting registered and you're getting ready to start classes next week, your student email is going to be the most important thing that you have available to you for contacting staff and faculty throughout the semester. It's our official way of communicating you to make sure that our emails are going to you specifically. So make sure that you're checking your Outlook pretty frequently and your student email. It's super, super important. As well as Microsoft Teams. So a lot of your courses will probably use Microsoft Teams as their mode of hosting those meetings and class times. So make sure that you're connecting with your faculty to make sure that you have all of the right resources available to you. But most of them, I would say, are still using Microsoft Teams to meet up with students. So again, all of these are downloadable and instructions to access them are on our website. If you cannot access any of your student accounts, contact our IT team as soon as possible to make sure that you are able to troubleshoot whatever's going wrong. And you can go to the website and you can type in technology resources or something like that to the search bar and it should pop up. You can go to the students page for resources and it'll have it listed under technology resources, or you can go to this direct link at mchs.edu/students/contact-it-support. So that'll all be available. It's all available on our website. Our IT team is really great with working with students. Due to the number of people that we have contacting them right now, some processing times are a little bit delayed, so it might take a couple more days to get back to you. But rest assured, they are working very, very hard to make sure that they reach out to every student that is contacting them and having any issues. Again, if you just tuned in, because I know I saw a couple of people just enter the chat, make sure that you're signing in to the chat feature and keeping your microphones muted. That way we can get all of your questions answered towards the end without interrupting the presentation. So this is kind of a flow chart that I would definitely recommend you take very seriously over the next week before classes start. These are things that you'll have to get done in order to start classes next week. So if you have not already, complete your online orientation. I know a few of you actually received emails from me this morning about making sure that you have your online orientation complete. If you have not done so, log into your D2L account and get those that online orientation completed as soon as possible. It is super, super important that you get all of that completed so that we are able to get you registered for classes. Your academic advisor will not know that you're ready to start classes until you have your online orientation completed. So it's super important that you finish all of the modules in there, as well as submit all of the forms that are in there so that we know that you're ready to start classes and can get registered for them. Once you complete that online orientation, your academic advisor will reach out to you to help you get registered for classes. So they'll reach out and set up a meeting with you either via a video, an email, a phone call to make sure that you're getting registered for the classes that you need for next week. So make sure you're watching that student email especially and paying attention to your phone calls as they come in so that we can make sure that you're ready to start on time. Once you are registered for classes, you can log into your My Mercy account and view your finalized bill. That usually takes about a day or two after you've officially registered for your classes. And your bill is based on how many credits you're registered for. So whether you're full-time or part-time enrollment, you'll be able to see your final bill before the semester starts, as well as what financial aid you have available for you, what it may or may not cover for your bill. And depending on that, you can either set up a payment plan or sit back and wait for your refund check, or you can apply for book vouchers. So once you have that schedule made and you know kind of where you're at financially for the semester, check out our bookstore. And that way you can view the specific textbooks that are necessary for your specific classes. If you have excess financial aid, you can apply for that book voucher, which will basically set up a line of credit at our bookstore so that your financial aid will cover those textbooks that you need to order. And then after that, it's really up to you. You'll be ready to start your first day of classes next Tuesday. And I know that if you are able to access all of your student accounts and you're able to have all of your questions answered, I know you'll be great. So again, this flowchart is super, super important. The first thing that you need to do, if you haven't already, and you've signed up for orientation, is to finish that online orientation. It's getting to be kind of crunch time right now, which is why I'm stressing that so much. Once you get that flowchart completed, these are just a few things that are kind of less pressing, but still equally as important. So next week, as you get started in your classes, some things that you might find helpful is to review any of the purple and green info series that you may have missed or that may have happened a while ago, especially now that we're all online. I know that for some of you, moving to Des Moines is not necessarily as big of a deal at the current moment as it was maybe a few weeks ago. So you can have a little bit more time to kind of navigate some of the apartment complexes, some of the resources available for students moving to a new city. We have an info session on living in Des Moines presented by Grace, one of our admissions counselors who came to Des Moines for school and ended up staying here because she loved it so much. So that was just a couple weeks ago. She's got some really great resources for students that are looking for housing, that are looking for resources available specifically for students in a new community. Another thing that I would definitely recommend you take advantage of is exploring some of our campus resources that are available for you. This was our info session just a couple of weeks ago that I presented on different resources that are available for our current students, both online and on campus, primarily online, so that you have access to them from wherever you are in the country completing your courses for summer. So make sure you take advantage, especially of those two purple and green info series. The list of resources that I provided in our last one is going to be really, really important to you as you navigate some of the first few days and weeks of being a student at Mercy College. After you have already registered for classes and everything and you're officially a student, I definitely recommend you take advantage of our Success Center webinars. Our Student Success Center puts on webinars that are very, very similar to your purple and green series that you've experienced with me and our admissions team, so that you know kind of what some of the resources are, because they're constantly developing new ways to help support our students. So I definitely encourage you to sign up for some of our webinars so that you are staying in contact with our Student Success Center and you're able to reach out and contact people if you need access to any of those. Again, in your D2L, some of you may have noticed when you logged in to complete your orientation that there is another course assigned to you, which is your Bystander training. This is your Title IX compliance training. So it's some heavy material at times, but it's also very, very important material that you know, so that you know what resources are available to you as you progress as a student. So make sure that you get that completed as soon as possible, especially before things get really, really hectic and crazy. Your Bystander training is important, especially as you approach registering for the next semester. So there will be a hold put on your account if you do not finish your Bystander training. That will prevent you from registering next semester. So make sure you get that done as soon as possible before it just slips off your radar. Just log into your D2L account and you can complete that as well. I know it kind of touched a little bit on it during orientation, but it is a separate course that you'll need to complete in your D2L account as well. And then finally, make sure that you get your ID and parking pass. Like I said, obviously we're not on campus yet and we won't be for the summer semester, but it is still really important that you have your student ID and parking pass. In order to do that, you should have received an email from Missy Chapman, our campus receptionist, detailing how to apply for your photo ID and parking permit. You'll just need to submit that student photo ID and parking registration form online, and then send your photo to Missy for your student ID badge. So it's really important that we get those done so that when you are able to get back onto campus, you're able to have a parking permit, you're able to access our buildings, And that way it's not going to be just a total crazy mess with you not having any access to anything. So make sure that you respond to Missy and get her that information so that once you are registered, you can send all of that to her. And then once we're back on campus, you can access everything that you need to. And then finally, just make sure that you reach out to any of us. We are all here to help you succeed as a student. So from your admissions counselors to your faculty members, to your financial aid representatives, to our administration, we all want you to be as successful as possible at Mercy College. And so we all know how crazy and weird this semester has been. So if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to any of us, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. A couple of things that again are not quite as pressing right now, but that you want to keep in mind. If you are taking spring courses right now and they're just finishing up, or if you just finished those, make sure that you turn in all of your final official transcripts to us. Make sure that we have all of the updated things that we need from you in order to make sure that we have the most up-to-date file for you, and that you have all of your transfer credits that you need in order to progress in your classes. Again, finish your orientation. It's super important that you get that done so that you can get registered for classes if you haven't already. Make sure that you complete all of the modules and submit all of those forms at the end so that your academic advisor is able to get in touch with you. I know a lot of you have already completed your 2019-2020 FAFSA for the summer semester. The next thing that you'll need to do is complete your 2020-2021 FAFSA as well. So the summer semester, I've mentioned a couple of times in our previous sessions, is kind of a weird one. It's at the very end of an academic year. So the 2019-2020 FAFSA that you've submitted will cover you up to the end of the summer semester. And then for your fall semester, you will need to submit your 2020-2021 FAFSA. You can do this the same way that you did your 2019-2020. You'll just go to studentaid.gov, fill out your FAFSA. It should just be a matter of logging into your account, updating any information that needs to be updated, and then submitting it with our school code. So you can see that in front of you. That's 006273. You want to make sure to do this by July 1st. July 1st is the deadline for a lot of state-funded grants and opportunities. So we won't be able to award any to you if you submit it after July 1st. So make sure you get it into us before then so that we can make sure that you get those state-funded aid opportunities if you're eligible for them. Again, because we're online, I know it's not on the forefront of everyone's mind, but if you wanted to start looking at housing options, College Hill Apartments is actually a really great place for our students to live. We share a building with them. They're actually right above our student services departments. You could live upstairs, walk downstairs to the Student Success Center, and then around the corner to your nursing labs. They are great to work with, and they have some really nice apartments available. You can check out some of their resources at collegehilldsm.com. So again, I know it's not super pressing right now as we are working through the summer semester online, but just as you kind of browse through some apartment options for you. And again, contact us with any questions that you have. If you have a specific question for financial aid, you can access any of our contact information or request a video chat online at that mchs.edu/help, so HELP. And that'll have, like I said, all of our contact information, some frequently asked questions, especially as we approach the summer semester and it being online. So make sure you reach out to us if you have any questions whatsoever before you start. If you're not sure where to start or you have a million questions and you don't know who to contact me. I am here to help you with whatever you need. I'm more than happy to get you connected with resources, answer whatever questions I can. I have worked in a lot of our Student Success Center or our Student Services departments. So I work with our admissions team quite a bit, with our financial aid team quite a bit. A lot of you I know have received emails from me for your financial aid things that we need from you. So contact me at any point. I'm happy to help you connect with any resources that you need. You can see my contact information is right here. So it's just msmith11@mercydesmoines.org. Smith is a very common last name. Or you can contact me directly via my cell phone at 515-635-1226. So this contact information will also be in the follow-up emails that you receive after this presentation later today. So if you have any questions and you're not sure where to start, just send them to me and I'll make sure you get connected with who you need to. I want to thank everyone so much for joining us for our Purple and Green Info series, especially today. I know I've had a lot of information thrown at you. Be sure to check all of our previous presentations that are all listed on our website. You can watch any of those videos, especially as we get closer to the start of the term next week. I know that they will have some really, really great information for you to answer any of those questions you have. We have a frequently asked questions list on our website as well on that info series page. So make sure to check that out if you're still having issues navigating anything. But I do, again, want to thank everyone for coming, and thank you so much for tuning in today.